Hi everyone, Ben here. Today we'll be looking at the 2019 World Champion of Public Speaking, Aaron Beverly, and his speech, An Unbelievable Story. This analysis and breakdown will assume that you're familiar with the judging criteria, rules, and timing of an international speech. If you need reference, feel free to check the documents in the description below. Before we get down to it, do know that this is purely my opinion. I do not speak for Toastmasters International, the judges, or Aaron himself for that matter. This video is purely for educational purposes and to help contestants to improve their public speaking and contesting. Even before he speaks, Aaron's attire grabs our attention. Nearly every single contestant wears formal attire. In this way, he stands out, making it easier to score him more points in the appearance category. A few points, but every little bit helps. Let's look at his opening line.
The contest chair was relieved. My title is only 3 words long.
Only those who have watched Aaron's first runner-up speech during the WCPS in 2016 would understand the humor in this. The title of that speech was 57 words long. He understood the audience well, as you can tell from the laughter. And what makes this so unique is that he's the only person in the planet that can pull this opening off. Subconsciously, the judges and the audience will recall the 57-word title speech, and in that way, he doesn't need to really introduce who he is anymore. He knows that everyone knows him, and is making full use of that.
But friends, why is this story unbelievable? June 2018, I fly to India to attend the wedding of my friend Brandon and his fiancée, Devika. Brandon and family are white, Devika and family are Indian, and I am the only black man there.
It is common knowledge that the first few seconds of a speech sets the expectations of the audience. Aaron does just this, a very standard exposition, nothing too fancy or over the top, but that's fine since he already broke the ice with his first line. But what makes this exposition unique is the theme that he brings up: race. The dots between his attire and the theme of his speech connect. The moment we hear white, Indian, and black, we know he's treading on sensitive waters here. And that draws us in to his speech even more. Is he gonna come off as racist? Or will he tackle the topic well? Let's watch.
I can't help but feel different. But I try my best to blend in. I buy formal Indian wedding attire. What do you think?
Most speakers would have just ended at, I buy formal Indian wedding attire. But that extra, what do you think? Is a great touch. He gets to spread his arms, which win him points in terms of body language, and he gets to get more audience response. This is the quality of writing that champions should aim for. To really score as many points you can with every word that you use.
I even participate in a sacred Indian wedding ritual, protecting the groom's shoes.
For the next part, Aaron will explain about the mechanics behind the game. This sort of explanation tends to be avoided because it can get rather dry, or it may overwhelm the audience with information. But because it's introducing a rather foreign point to most listeners, this can't be avoided. So, Aaron really uses his hand gestures to capture and retain the information.
During the car ride to the wedding, my friend Sunit explains this ritual. When Brandon takes off his shoes during the ceremony, Devika's bridesmaids will try to steal them. The groomsmen protect the shoes from the bridesmaids. If they win, they hold the shoes ransom, forcing Brandon to buy them back. It's a game, Sunit says. I think it sounds like a spy movie.
He brings up another recurring theme, spy movie. And a lot of the words that Sunit tells him will be called back again later on. This is great writing because whatever he mentioned earlier will not be phased out as the story becomes more interesting with conflict as it approaches the climax.
Sunit says, Aaron, the bridesmaids will try sweet talk, they will try deception, but don't give the shoes to anybody. Will you accept this mission? Quick fact about me. When I am given a mission, I take it very seriously. I look at Sunit and I say, I accept the mission. At the wedding ceremony, Brandon takes off his shoes. I swoop in, grab the shoes, sit down in the front row. Smooth, stealthy. I feel like a black James Bond.
A staple technique of physically moving on the stage while the character in the story is moving as well. But as he stops, he brings up race again. Aaron stresses this point with his stop. Subtle, but effective.
The leader of the bridesmaids walks over. She smiles at me. But gentlemen, have you ever seen a girlfriend or wife smile, yet at the same time, you just felt scared?
He has a very noticeable pause and his eyes look up just before he says, scared. What's interesting is that we're normally told that when a speaker's eyes look up, they're trying to remember their speech. But we don't feel that with Aaron. That's because this action does two things. One, he's prepping the audience for the punchline with the pause, and two, because he's asking the audience to recall a specific memory, his mannerism reflects just that. He's doing the action of recalling for the audience, further cementing the notion that Aaron is one with the audience. The next part of the story is where the conflict starts. Prior to this, Aaron has brought up two themes of race and spy movies, explained the scenario well, and connected with the audience. From this point onwards, take note of his humor, the way he recalls Sunit's instructions, and especially his fantastic vocal variety. His variation between the high and low-pitched voices really exemplifies conflict. His humor allows the audience to rest and enjoy, and his callback lets the audience really sink into the situation and sympathize with Aaron's struggle. Also take note of how he used triads. From this part all the way to the conclusion, I'll just let the video play.
I call her the ominous smiler. She says, Aaron, you look very handsome today. I say, thank you. Could you pass me Brandon's shoes? No. Sunit said the bridesmaids will try sweet talk. Don't give the shoes to anybody. But Aaron, she says, that's against Indian tradition. When I hear that, the global ambassador within me gets nervous. I don't want to cause an international incident over a pair of shoes. I can see the headlines. Idiot ruins wedding and India-US relations. I almost hand over the shoes, but remember Sunit. They will try deception. Don't give the shoes to anybody. I say no again. Then the ominous smiler, she moves closer. She says, and I quote, we can do this the easy way, or we can do this the hard way. But you will give us the shoes. I am now scared for my life at this wedding. However, I must protect the shoes because when I have a mission, I take it very seriously. So I curl over in my seat, I press the shoes against my chest, and this is how I watch the wedding for the next 30 minutes. The ominous smiler tries to steal the shoes, but I hold firm. Then she disappears for 20 minutes before taking a seat to my right. She says, Aaron, I don't care about the shoes anymore. You win. I say, do I look like a fool to you? But she doesn't move. I think I won. Sunit runs over. He's ecstatic. He says, Aaron, I'm proud of you. I say, thank you. You took this mission very seriously. I say, that's right. Now, give the shoes to me. No. Sunit said, don't give the shoes to anybody.
As he gets the audience to repeat his callback, take note of the gesture he did just before he signals for the audience to do just that. He did this gesture several times before,
To anybody, to anybody, to anybody.
and subconsciously, when we see it happen, we're already attuned to think and say anybody.
The ominous smiler disappeared to recruit backup, and I know a traitor when I see one. Then the ominous smiler pounces. She starts pulling my arms. Sunit joins her. 2 versus 1. They pull, I pull, but I hold firm. The other bridesmaids run over. 5 versus 1. They pull, I pull, but I hold firm. The other groomsmen run over. I think, yes, the cavalry has arrived. But they joined the bridesmaids. 8 versus 1. They pull, I pull, but I hold firm because when I have a mission, I take it very seriously. They said, Aaron, just give us the shoes. I said, never! Keep in mind, the wedding is still going on. Devika's family is watching the ceremony as if nothing else is happening. I start wondering, is this normal? Then the ominous smiler signals the wedding photographer. And this dude is huge. He puts down his camera. Then he starts charging. He jumps on top of me. 9 versus 1. They pull, I pull, but I lost the shoes.
This marks the end of the conflict in the story. Now begins the resolution. We get to see how his speech title, An Unbelievable Story, ties in.
Brandon paid 10 times what those shoes were worth. But what makes this story unbelievable is not the shoes, nor the events. It is the context behind that game. That game is designed for the families of the bride and groom to get to know each other, which means that among white and Indian families, a different, lonely black man was accepted like family too. We experience so much divisiveness nowadays that acceptance despite difference seems unbelievable. But there are people who still believe in it. Do you? Open your culture, your mind, your heart to people who are different from you. Show the world that acceptance, despite difference, is not an unbelievable story. This is your mission. Take it very seriously. Contest chair.
What really makes this speech stand out from many previous World Championship speeches is the message. The theme of race and acceptance is very powerful, very relevant, and at the same time, very risky subject to pursue. But the risk clearly paid off, and Aaron won. If there's anything I feel that the speech could be improved upon, is the resolution. The shift in tone from the humorous conflict in the middle part to the more serious and impactful ending is a bit too abrupt. What I feel Aaron could do was to touch a bit more on how he realized the context of the game. Right now, the flow is conflict, then lesson learned. By editing it to be conflict, to realization, and then to lesson learned, the shift in tone from his experience to the message will be less abrupt and more effective. Of course, this is just my opinion. If you have stayed all this way to this part of the video, great job! I hope that this analysis will help you improve your speech writing skills and delivery technique. Congrats to Aaron Beverly. Massive respect and brilliant speech. If you have any thoughts about this video or this speech, feel free to share them in the comment section down below. Until then, keep learning, keep enjoying, and keep watching Literally Speaking.